Hi, this is Derek. So this video is a really short rant, but today I'm cleaning up some of my websites. I haven't been doing book design or book formatting for clients for a long time, but I have these sites that don't really do anything, so I've been trying to find other book cover designers or formatters that I can recommend and link to. So I'm building kind of like a useful resources link because I get a lot of traffic and I want to send it to some designers that I like. So the point of this video, I see a lot of websites. Number one, they're not well designed, which isn't a huge thing because maybe they're book designers or they're book formatters, but they're not website designers. But even so, even if you don't really know a lot about web design or WordPress or HTML or anything, you should still have kind of a sense of design. If you've been doing this for a while, if your design is really ugly or if it has a lot of links or the spacing is all off or it just doesn't work, that's kind of sloppy. I would expect something a little bit better, even just a really super simple WordPress site. But that's not the main thing. The main thing I was going to say is I see a lot of formatting services that don't have an image gallery. So they don't have an example. So they have a prices and they say, this is what we do. They have testimonials from other clients. They have prices like per page and for different kinds of projects, but there's no pictures of their design. And because formatting is design, it's important. There are people who can format really well. They know how to format, but they're not good designers. So just because they can do it, and I have found some that like they do have a samples gallery, but they're not very good, so I won't recommend them. So maybe they know how to use some software and they know how to format books for ebook and print, but they're just kind of mediocre. Like they're okay, they might impress someone if they've never published before, but as a designer, I can tell that these are kind of over-designed or under-designed, or the design isn't good for that genre. Generally speaking, you want bigger design for younger audiences. So like a children's book or an MG middle grade book would have bigger formatting design than an adult book, which you'd want to keep kind of simple and clean with more spaces. So like if they don't know that and they just have all sorts of different kind of design in their portfolio, I can tell, but at least they have a portfolio and I can tell whether or not I want to hire them. There's a lot of other designers I've found who just don't have a portfolio. They don't have any samples of their formatting. And that's a big problem. If you're trying to look for someone to do design work for you, whether it's book cover design, formatting, or websites, which by the way are three totally different types of designs, different kinds of programs. So you may not want someone who can just do everything. You want to make sure they have samples for that particular thing to make sure they're good enough at it. And then they should have lots of samples, because if they only have if they only have 5 or 10 samples, that could mean they haven't done a lot of work, or that's their best examples. Those are their best examples of their work. So if they only have 5 or 10 good examples, maybe they have 100 other examples that aren't actually very good. So when I'm looking for a designer, I like to see lots of work. And of course, I also like to see really high quality work. So there are some formatters, I can look at their work and they're better than me. I've been designing a long time, but I can look at their work and be like, wow, this is incredible. I want them to do my formatting. Even though I know how to do it, I would still pay them to do it because they take it to another level. With interior formatting, with ebook and print formatting, that's something I don't really worry about. I focus on ebook sales, and I basically just want the formatting to get out of the way so that they can get into my content. On the other hand, it's a pretty easy little hack. Like if you're not getting the visibility, if your book isn't selling, if people aren't reading your books, the formatting doesn't matter. So the cover is a lot more important because most people won't notice the formatting until after they buy it. The covers will make or break your sales. The cover has to be right. But people can get the cover, they can buy the book, they can read it. They may not notice. If the formatting is good enough, they may not notice. But if the formatting is amazing, they may feel better. So they may have a better reading experience, and then they may review better, or they may like you more. Like that could be the difference between someone who casually reads your books and a real fan who loves your books because you have amazing design. So sometimes it's worth it. I write young adult, so it's kind of worth it for me to up my design game. And I'm kind of starting to do that now that my books do sell. I can invest a little bit to make sure the print and the ebook formatting is like next level cool. But for some books, like if it's a simple nonfiction memoir, like you really just want something simple and clean anyway. But my point was, if you're a formatter, make sure you have pictures. If you're an author, make sure you ask to see pictures, or make sure they have a gallery of examples, not just a bunch of testimonials, but a gallery of examples, hopefully a lot, in a lot of different genres. Like when I'm looking at a cover, they may have tons of fiction covers that are amazing, but I won't really trust them with nonfiction until I see a couple nonfiction examples. I'm looking at a new cover designer today, and he only had one nonfiction example, but it was really good. It was a really nice nonfiction. So I know that he's capable of doing both, and that's important to me if I want to recommend or send people to him, because I don't want to recommend people who can't handle the work. Anyway, so that's my video. I haven't made videos in a long time, but I'm in Portland for another month. I'm getting a lot done. I just launched a vampire book, and it's doing pretty well. I hope I'm going to put out some more YouTube content this month before we get on the road and probably go back to Thailand or something. Thanks, bye-bye.